Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the new moon eclipse in Sagittarius. This is powerful energy that we are experiencing right now. This is going to be a very quick reading for the Divine Masculine and the Divine Feminine to see what is going on with this energy. So some of you might be feeling this energy. For me, I just feel a ton of energy pouring through me. Very tired. There's a need for grounding. There's a need for hydration. There's a need to be around water. All those things can help to clear the heaviness of this energy. Now, when I say heaviness, it doesn't feel dense. It doesn't feel heavy in any negative sense. It just feels like there's a lot of energy coming through, as it usually does with the eclipse energy. This energy really pushes us to release and manifest anything that is for our highest potential. So releasing anything that doesn't serve us or doesn't serve our highest potential, in order to manifest that which is. This is going to continue throughout the next 6 months, or this eclipse energy continues throughout the next 6 months. So anything that you are manifesting now with this new moon is going to be coming into alignment. So be sure that you are clear in your intentions. Be sure that you are clear in your energy and what it is that you are wanting to create in the highest timeline. I did just post over on my community tab over on Instagram and Facebook some dream state activations, channeled messages, things that you might be experiencing in dream state, how we are experiencing the divergence of two different timelines. You might be experiencing some back and forth, some shifting timelines that is going to be balancing out, as well as you anchor into the highest timeline that is aligned to the new energy, the new higher consciousness that you are. So make sure that you're checking that out. Next week, we are going to also have a new sacred channeling on this eclipse energy, post-eclipse energy, and how we have been really in a trial by fire, really been in an initiation stage. Now we're really anchoring into this new alignment, and that's just what they keep calling it, new alignment. And I feel like that's where the Divine Masculine is as well. So we're going to start with the Divine Masculine, and we're going to start with some tarot here. So very interesting energies. I feel like this is all relating to the connection. I feel like you guys are really mirroring each other here. I use the same deck, and the Divine Masculine has a Two of Cups. Over here, the Divine Feminine has the Lovers. So I really feel like this eclipse is helping the sacred partnership, or really supporting the sacred partnership, and you're both on each other's minds. And that's no wonder. There had been a period of detachment. There had been a period of so-called separation, perceived separation, because remember, you're never truly separate when you're in a sacred partnership. You always feel that love and that bond with one another, but in a healthy way. And what you're doing on this journey is you're releasing all of the unhealthy attachments, releasing all of the triggers, all of the woundings, all of the pain patterns, so you can come back to the energy of love. And I feel like you've always been supporting each other in this, even though you might be triggering each other. But I feel like this energy is new energy. This energy really feels like recognizing the love in one another, recognizing the gifts and the blessings that you have given one another in order to transform. I'm especially feeling that from the Divine Masculine here. This is a new energy for the Divine Masculine that I'm picking up on. We have the Two of Cups, and I feel like they feel very intertwined with their counterpart in a positive way. Before, they might have wanted to run from this connection, wanted to run from that entanglement because it was very scary to them. Wanting their freedom, wanting their independence, not realizing that this connection actually affords both in the highest light, with connection with another, but still bringing in freedom and independence. Now, what the Divine Feminine was doing was releasing anywhere where she was trying to hold on too much to codependencies and relationships, and needing to take from a partner. She's, through her recognizing her sovereignty, through her recognizing her self-empowerment and not needing anything from a connection, she's recognizing that love is free naturally. In commitment, yes, there is commitment in relationship, but there is a freedom within that commitment to be yourself. And that is what the Divine Masculine has always been yearning for. That's what the freedom is, the freedom to be themselves. And that's what this feels like. This feels like finally understanding the interconnection between himself and his divine counterpart, and how you truly are on a journey of connection and divine love, higher love than has ever been experienced together. The energy there that is being, see the two cups there? That is the energy between the two of you. That is the love between the two of you. That is the highest essence of love between the two of you. That is just being, it's almost like temperance energy. It's not transmutation, it's not alchemy. Although you are creating together, you're creating love together through the flow of love that you're both experiencing. It's like you're better together. And that's the energy that this is. You're better together. And recognizing that you are always intertwined. And they're giving me the word quantum entanglement. It's what affects one affects the other. So as you grow, I grow. As I grow, you grow. That's the energy of this divine love. And I do feel like they're really feeling the love, not just the connection and not just the heart pull or the magnetism or the chemistry, but the love. This is a true heart opening. They're really feeling this connection here. And we have the Page of Swords, and I feel like this is that clarity that is coming in for them. I feel like this doesn't quite feel like studying. Studying feels almost like a denser energy, almost like a forceful energy. But this feels like they're receiving wisdom, they're receiving insight, they're receiving downloads, they're receiving understanding. And I feel like this is because of the reflection that we had been picking up on in the last mini reading. There have been a lot of reflection, a lot of introspection, and I feel like they are receiving clarity. And through that clarity, they are actually breaking the bonds of their own pain patterns, their own mindsets. This is hangman energy where they are really shifting perspective. And this is, you see how only in the mirror is she tied up? They're looking in the mirror at themselves. They're really seeing how they had spun tales, how they had created stories in their mind, how they had let old traumas and old wounding really keep them in a stuck mindset. So this is really big energy of breaking free in order to recognize the connection, recognize love, recognize partnership, recognize themselves, fully recognize themselves. And that's what this divine connection has done as well. It has really forced both counterparts to look deep within themselves, to understand themselves, to know themselves better than before as the soul, not as the pain patterns, not as the trauma, not as the triggers, not as the egoic identities. This was to really understand yourself as a soul, and they're really starting to see the divine masculine, that is, they're really starting to see the light within them that the divine feminine had always seen, but that they couldn't see for themselves. They are breaking free from these chains that had always bound them, to old traumas and pain patterns and lower density energy that had always kind of kept them in an energy of lack of worth and lack of value. They're really breaking free from this in order to come together. They're wanting to come together here. Over here, for the divine feminine, we have the Fool and the Lovers, along with the Three of Wands and the Six of Wands that came out together. This divine feminine, she's been through a trial by fire as well. A lot of self-doubt, a lot of uncertainty about the connection, about her path forward with her divine counterpart. But she's not guarding her heart anymore, not in the same way that she did before. This, too, is a new energy for the divine feminine. And I feel like this new energy for the divine feminine is creating the new for the divine masculine. So what's happening here is she is ready for a new beginning. She is embracing a new beginning in love, and she is feeling this connection in a different way. Not with the attachment, with more healthy boundaries, with an ability to express herself, an ability to stand up for herself, an ability to express her needs, an ability to kind of set the boundary as far as how much she's willing to give. The divine feminine is a natural giver, but she is not wanting to overgive anymore. She's having that healthy boundaries for herself, not willing to sacrifice herself anymore for anyone or anything, even this connection. She is starting a new life for herself, and she is just welcoming her divine counterpart in as part of this, but not willing to sacrifice herself for the connection or for the journey as she had been in the past. And that's what this Three of Wands and Six of Wands really feels like. This Three of Wands really feels like she is venturing forth on her journey, on her sacred path, recognizing that she might have been sacrificing her path in the past, but she's no longer doing this, and that is leading her to victory, that is leading her to success, that is leading her to feeling so fully sovereign, so fully self-empowered, that she is just welcoming anything that is aligned to her. And what is becoming aligned to her is the divine conscious masculine energy. So she's ready for this new beginning as well. All right. Okay, we're going to continue here with how is this new moon eclipse really affecting the connection. And we have power and surrender. So how is this affecting the divine masculine? They are stepping into their power. And I'm immediately drawn to the 1 and the 6 being a 7, being a life path number. And I really feel like this divine masculine is recognizing their own sovereignty, recognizing their own power, not the false power of egoic control, not the false power of corruption and greed and the things that they had clung to in the distorted masculine energy. This is a power of the self, recognizing the soul of the self, recognizing their own sacredness, recognizing the fullness and the wholeness of who they are. And that comes on the heels of this surrender. And that's what this has come from. This energy, these insights, this understanding, this clarity is coming from a place of surrender. I feel like this divine masculine has been incredibly humbled, been brought to their knees in order to surrender, to recognize their light, to recognize God's source, to recognize the bigger picture. A lot of feminine energy has been coming in for the divine masculine. For the masculine energy to rise, they have to recognize the feminine energy within them. That's the union, that's the balance. And I feel like that's the wholeness that we're experiencing here. They're really recognizing themselves in a new light, and it's coming on the heels of this surrender. For the divine feminine, we have patience and acceptance. And I feel like this new moon eclipse is really pushing her into a place of just going with the flow, allowing this divine unfolding, just following her sacred path and being patient for how it does unfold. She knows that she is walking on her sacred path here. She knows that she is leveling up, that she's actually even taking a quantum leap into the next level of consciousness, the next level of higher heart ascension. We've been channeling that for quite a while here. She knows that there has been an ending. She can feel that new beginning, and she is heading towards that new beginning. She might still be in a bit of a transition energy, but she's in complete surrender and acceptance to this as well. And look at the mirroring that's happening here. Surrender and acceptance, two sides of the same coin. For a divine feminine, this is all about acceptance of her journey, acceptance of where her journey has brought her, acceptance of her now moment, and acceptance of how she is creating the new life for herself. This 4 number is all about foundation. She knows that she's building a new foundation for herself, and she's just in an energy of patience, not waiting. There's a very distinct difference here. In an energy of patience, which is just following her path and allowing it to unfold. It's almost like I'm hearing at God's will. Now, she knows that she is manifesting and creating alongside. That's the co-creatorship. But she's really surrendered to the universe right now. She's really surrendered to her own soul self rather than trying to force anything, control anything, have expectations for how anything unfolds. She's in a place of complete surrender and patience as well. But that patience is allowing the divine unfolding. I'm even hearing embracing the divine unfolding. So what's the guidance for the divine masculine for this new moon? We have your commitment is being tested. This is that humbling energy that was coming through, that initiation by fire. So I do feel like this new moon eclipse is still going to be pushing the divine masculine a little bit. Almost like it's testing how much has the divine masculine really transformed, how much have they changed, how much have they let go of the binds that were holding them back. Their own thought patterns, pain patterns, trauma, perspectives that were really holding them back. So I do feel like their commitment to themselves are being tested right now. How much are they willing to change in order to align to the new? Over on the divine feminine side, we have it's time to release negativity, and that's part of this whole spread right here, where she is just in a place of accepting where she is. She's releasing herself of the past. She is closing the door on that chapter of her life, that story of her life, because she has shifted into a brand new energy. And that energy is no longer aligned to repeating old cycles, getting caught up in the same karmic loops. that was repeating pain patterns, that was repeating trauma. She's allowing herself to shift. And as she is shifting, she is releasing anything that is no longer aligned to her highest level of consciousness, that is no longer aligned to her highest self. And that includes any fears, doubts, uncertainties. She's in a place where she is just allowing herself to be, allowing the energy to flow, allowing herself to be in full balance of both polarities within her, the masculine and the feminine, where she is receiving the higher guidance and taking action for her life, where she is going with the flow of that, where she is making decisions for herself, where she is just allowing her life to unfold, but taking action as necessary. So she is really releasing any uncertainty, any doubt, any fears, any negativity, anything that feels toxic to her. It just no longer feels good. She just does not want to be in that energy anymore. She's releasing that and going forward. So what's going on with the Divine Masculine and this connection with this new moon? He is releasing as well that Ten of Swords. There's been a painful ending within your connection, but with every ending comes a new beginning. Reflect on all that you have learned from your experience and carry the love with you into the next phase of your journey. So remember how we talked about the Divine Feminine over here, and we've been talking about her for the past several weeks, and how she has really been having endings and new beginnings all at once, and how she has really been just stepping into her sovereign self, her self-empowered self, where she has really just been, embracing her own sacred path. Well, this is the Divine Masculine who is going through this as well. Now, you're never behind one another, never ahead, never behind. You're always exactly where you need to be. But if we're talking about where they are in the journey, this Divine Masculine is experiencing right now what the Divine Feminine had experienced just a couple of weeks ago. So this energy really is coming into alignment, really is catching up to be in harmony with one another. But this Divine Masculine is really experiencing that ending, feeling the ending, but also feeling very optimistic about the next phase, about what is to come. They're receiving clarity, they're receiving understanding, they're not letting anything hold them back anymore. They're stepping into their wholeness, stepping into their power, stepping into their energy of surrender so that this can unfold. So there is an ending that is happening for the Divine Masculines, but I do feel like they are finally releasing the resistance to this and allowing this to move forward, allowing this to transform them. Again, that's that humbling energy that's coming through here. And over here for the Divine Feminine, we have the Ace of Pentacles and the Emperor. I feel like this is twofold. I feel like this is a new, much more grounded beginning for her with a masculine energy. Now, the double message is this is the masculine energy within her, and this is the masculine energy with her counterpart. So she can feel the masculine energy with her within herself being much more secure, much more grounded, much more stable, which is ushering in a brand new physical world for her. This is the divine unfolding. This is the next phase of her life. It's much more stable, much more grounded. It has a much more secure foundation. Finances, business, career, relationship, family dynamics, all just so promising because it has that more stable foundation. It's an abundant new beginning for herself, but also because she has grounded that energy with her masculine energy within, it's grounding the energy with her divine counterpart, her masculine counterpart. So that energy, that union energy with her counterpart, that relationship energy, or I should say the connection energy with her counterpart, is really coming in. So, final messages. How are they feeling about each other? What do they want to say to each other? The Divine Masculine, I dream of kissing you. Divine Feminine, I'm thinking about you in this very moment. And between you two, can we start over? That is the new beginning energy that is coming in, both of you on each other's minds. All right, you guys, that's going to be it for today's mini reading. We'll be back later this weekend for another to check in on how is this post-eclipse energy affecting both counterparts. I'm sending you so much love, so much light. Talk to you soon.